Hey, it's Katie, and welcome back to my booktube channel. For today's video, I'll be doing a book review for Blade of Secrets by Trisha Levenseller, and I'm so excited to talk about this book with you guys. So this is a fantasy romance, and honestly, before reading it, I thought it was a standalone, but it's not. There's at least one sequel that's coming out, and it's coming out next year, but I definitely need my hands on it because I was obsessed with this book. It ended not on a really big cliffhanger, but it ended with enough of a cliffhanger that I need to know more. And I just get so invested in any Trisha Levenseller book, and I'm excited to tell you guys about it and tell you guys about my thoughts. But first, I should probably tell you guys what the book's about. So this book follows 18-year-old Ziva, who prefers metal over people, and she spends her time in her forge, basically avoiding society and the anxiety that it gives her. She uses her unique magical gift to create these weapons that are filled with power. One day, Ziva receives a commission from a powerful warlord, and the result is a sword that's capable of stealing its victim's secrets. Then, Ziva learns of the warlord's intentions to use this sword to enslave all the world to her rule, and Ziva takes her sister and the sword and she flees. And along this journey, she also has this scholar and a mercenary by her side, and it is just so good. I had really high expectations going into this book because I loved Daughter of the Pirate King, I loved The Shadows Between Us, and I just knew that I needed to read more Trisha Levenseller, and I was so excited that this one was coming out, and I got my hands on it immediately. And it did not disappoint. I feel like usually when I go into books with such high expectations, I'm usually a little bit disappointed, but that was not the case with this book. And Trisha Levenseller's writing, I've said this before, but it has quickly become one of my favorites. I hadn't even read one of her books until a couple months ago, and now they're some of my favorite books I've ever read, and this one is no different. Her writing is just amazing. I loved the world building, and it's just so vivid and captivating, and I just can't say enough great things. I literally could not put this book down. Once I started it, I read it in one sitting, and I stayed up really late to finish it. I didn't start this book until like 10 o'clock. I actually read it yesterday. I didn't even start it till 10 o'clock at night. I stayed up till like 2 in the morning reading it, and that's all I did for those hours. And I even had to work really early this morning, but I could not make myself go to bed without finishing this book first. Even better than the world building were all of the characters in this book. I feel like Trisha Levenseller always does an amazing job writing her characters. They're always so fun, and I love the females that she includes in her stories. They are such strong heroines, and I cannot get enough of these characters. I really loved Ziva as a character. She is no different from the other heroines that we get from Trisha Levenseller. She is so strong, and what I really loved about Ziva was that her strength didn't come in a typical form. It's not like she was this assassin with amazing fighting abilities or anything like that. She honestly didn't really know how to fight too well, but I thought that was really great because her strength shone in other ways. She was so brave, and she cared so much about her sister, so that was definitely a strength. Her love for her sister was a strength. Her unabashed bravery was a strength. Her ability to create these weapons that were so unique and powerful. Just everything about her was so strong and unique, but it wasn't in like a usual sense of what you usually get in fantasies, and I really enjoyed that, especially because she also deals with anxiety pretty frequently. She has panic attacks, and she has trouble talking to anybody who's not her sister, and as somebody who also has some anxiety, it was really nice to see that represented in a story, and I think it was done really well. Something else I forgot to mention is that she actually has a really strong moral compass, which is another element I really loved about her. I feel like that's a whole different form of strength, and it was really nice to see. I really loved the love interest in this book, and if you don't want to know who it is, I would skip ahead like a minute or two into this this review. I'm not going to spoil anything too much. I feel like it was pretty obvious for me by reading the synopsis who the love interest would be. But in case you're somebody who doesn't like anything like that said to them, please go ahead and skip forward like a minute. I will do this really quick. I just don't want to ruin anything for you. But I loved the mercenary as a love interest. I feel like mercenaries are such fun characters in any story. They have great humor and banter, and they are always like so confident, sometimes to a fault, and they are just always some of my favorite characters to read about. Same with pirates. It gives me like those similar vibes, and I just can't get enough of characters like that. Aside from Ziva and Kellen, the mercenary, there were so many other characters that caught my attention, especially Temra, who is Ziva's sister. I loved her as a character. She is strong in her own way. She's so brave, and she's also very kind and caring and strong-willed, and I love seeing such strong female characters. They just really make me happy. I think even more than the characters or the romance or anything like that, my favorite part of this story by far were all of the weapons. They were so unique, and being introduced to them and learning what they could do was just so amazing and so captivating, and it's just crazy to think about what would happen if these weapons were real. And it's not just the sword that is mentioned in the synopsis where it can steal its victim's secrets. That's definitely the craziest and the most powerful, but there's a ton of other weapons that are introduced throughout this story, and they're all equally unique and so fascinating. I feel like I could go on and on about this book and all of my thoughts, but I'm trying to keep this spoiler free for you guys and also trying to keep it short. But I gave this book 5 stars. I feel like that's no surprise to you guys. I love Trisha Levenseller's writing, and I cannot wait for the sequel. Like I said, there's going to be another book, and it's called Master of Iron, and I wish it was out already. I would have gone out to buy it right after finishing this. Well, I guess not right after finishing because it was 2 in the morning, but I would have gone today to go get the sequel if it was already out. I'm not sure what month it's coming out next year, but hopefully it's in the spring or even earlier than that because I cannot wait that long. I loved this. Hopefully this helped you guys figure out whether or not you wanted to read Blade of Secrets. If you do read it, please let me know and let me know what you thought about it because I would love to talk to you guys about this book. I am obsessed. They're some of my favorite characters now, and like I said, the weapons are just so fascinating. But please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I would really, really appreciate it. If you do subscribe, click the notification bell so you know when I upload next. Thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you in my next video.